Oh man. Keep this back here. Yeah, it works.
So awesome.
What do you mean?
It's not in the center. I'm cut off.
Do you want to be in there a little bit more? Oh man. She want to be in there a little bit more. Let's see.
I mean, look at it. You can't tell that that's not in the center.
I can, but you happy?
Yep.
No, you're like sitting up closer to me. I'm like back here.
It's because I got this pillow behind me.
Anyways, what's going on, guys? Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to the Sandy and Anthony show. Hold on. Get a little drink.
You trying to be like me?
Want to be like her a little bit? So we got a good show for you today. Try to come up with some topics, and this is the 14th episode. What do you think about that?
14, like our anniversary.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, I'm like 14, like our anniversary. Yeah, June 14th, and this is the 14th episode. So guys, we're doing this today on I lost my train of thought, on Zoom, because we have a special guest for you. He was somebody who was very instrumental in my growing up, because he is, excuse me, none other than my best friend, Lamont. Literally, we met in 3rd grade, and we've been friends ever since. And so it's pretty cool. So we're going to touch on our first topic. That's going to be a little bit, because you know the show, we like to be happy and laugh. And we touch on some serious stuff. Well, I'm going to get Lamont in here so he could go over our first topic. So let's just bring him in here. And, you know, let's see what he got to say. So waiting for his audio to jump on. By now, the world all know everything about Zoom. So that's cool. Oh, you know what? I kind of screwed up a little bit. Oh, wait, no. I got our volume. All right, waiting for Lamont volume. I was about to say I messed up, and I forgot to unmute our volume. But no, our volume's already and synced and ready to go. Yep, just making sure. All right, cool. All right, Mont. Can you hear us?
Yep, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, cool. All right, I can hear you. Let me turn you up a little bit on our end.
All
right. And I think the way we had it in the past, Sandy, was our comments was coming up on the screen because we had it on how did we have it? I guess we had the screen being captured and our comments coming up, but I didn't think about that part, so we got to go to our comments right here. It's always something. So before, we would have our comments popping up on the screen, but I think that's because we did it inside of OBS. Yeah. So the question is, can I still do that? I don't know. Here, guys, I'm going to try something real quick. Hold on, Mont. I'm just curious.
Sure, I understand.
Nope, it doesn't work. All right. You guys got to see.
Trying to combine the two?
Yeah, the guys got to see a little bit behind the scenes, but cool. So anyway, so for the purpose of this, we are going to go into oh, you know what though? I wonder, could we go back if we wanted to? Probably not, because the camera's being used by Zoom. But I wonder if I canceled Zoom, would it jump back to OBS? Anyway, whatever. So anyway, you got some people commenting. My boy Dave said, "Come on, people, let's go." And he also said it's about time. And Dave Shannon, Chris Shannon. I gotta stop calling you. Well, I'll leave that out there. But he said, "Hey, y'all. So what's up?" And Michael Pannon said, "What's up?" And Dave said, "What's good, Lamont?" So All right, Mont. So it's cool because you and I was on the phone today,
Yeah.
and we had a conversation about what's going on in the world right now, and you were telling me about, defunding the police.
Yeah. Pretty much. I guess to continue from what we was talking about, you were just telling me about your opinion as far as how what type of laws or rules they should do with police,
Right.
as far as just misconduct or just shootings or wherever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure if you want to run down that first, your opinion first.
Yeah, you know what? So yeah,
Versus-
no, that's a good point. We might as well get into it because oh, you wanna check this out? We might as well get into it because it segues into your thing. So Lamont and I was talking, and I said, what could we do, right, to kind of patch things up or make amends, so to speak, or to go forward? And I feel that statewide, so not each state, but statewide across every state in the United States, there need to be stricter, um,
Laws.
not laws, but
Guidelines?
stricter, not even guidelines, but stricter
punishment.
punishment for police officers. So, for instance, this is what I think. Police brutality, and again, you can have the best lawyer. So if you get off, it is what it is. Some people still think OJ did it, and but he had Johnny Cochran and he got him off. So that's just that's the United States, right? But if you were found guilty and convicted, like for police brutality, should start off a minimum of 25 years in prison, right? And then if you were found guilty of killing someone, a murder, first degree murder, or any type of murder, right? Someone died at your hands, and you were convicted of that crime, it would be start off the minimum of 50 years. Because I feel like it being stricter statewide, then, so think about it, with George Floyd, we saw the cop with his knee on his neck, right, for so long.
Yeah.
He's just looking
Yeah.
and watching people recording him. If in his head he knew at least, probably not murder, because I doubt he woke up that morning and said, I'm gonna kill somebody. But if he thought in his head, like, whoa, people are watching me, people could use this to sue me, I'm gonna at least get 25 years for police brutality, he probably wouldn't have went as far as he did. So that's what I think. And that's how our conversation started. And you were telling me how there's some people out there talking about defunding the police, but tell them about what you were talking about.
Yeah, it's pretty much when most people say defund the police, they just talking about taking away some of the funds that goes to police departments and put it towards other things like social programs within the community to kind of invest into the community. And it's almost like a way for I guess to prevent. It's almost like a crime prevention type of situation. Mm-hmm. So instead of instead of trying to put this money and putting police officers in situations where they probably shouldn't be,
right?
Especially if they're carrying like a deadly weapon, and have them respond to calls that's not really necessary, like domestic calls, just having like another section or department kind of handle those type of calls. So say, for example, if somebody's having an argument or something with their significant other, and it's nothing to do with anybody shooting or anything like that, no major crime, then some type of social worker or somebody who's trained would show up if somebody called 911.
Right.
And they're trying to de-escalate the situation or figure out what's going on. And somebody just doesn't have a weapon. So the intent is to, squash whatever's going on. And then that kind of eliminate a lot of these problems as far as this police is kind of put in situations where they don't really know how to handle.
Right.
And there's a lot of stuff they come across where they probably should not be in a position to make a judgment call.
Well, one thing I want to touch on that we talked about earlier, because I thought it was so good what you was talking about that I wanted to have you on here. So you were saying that instead of having like police in certain situations, like you were saying, you like have a person at that, like, so a new job position, right? So,
Yeah,
like you were even saying, like instead of arresting some people, like for instance, George Floyd, the whole thing started with a counterfeit, right? Like
yeah,
instead of him getting arrested, he could have got a ticket, like you said. So it'd be a different person, not an officer, but more like
yeah.
a caseworker or social or somebody, right? Explain
Yeah,
that.
it could be something like how people have the parking enforcement. They have people they drive around with, they almost look like the police or security, but they have tickets to do fine for non-threatening issues.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of and the thing about it, if it gets escalated, it don't have to end with anybody dying.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it could be, somebody might get upset and they might, get physical, but it doesn't have to be escalated to somebody dying. And
Right.
in that case,
Because the thought is that police are trained, right? So they're trained on a more higher level. They're trained to use weapons, excessive force if necessary. So what you're saying is take somebody to put in there who don't have that training to escalate it, right? So number one, they don't have a weapon, right? So they're not showing
yeah,
up with a gun or a taser or something because the
yeah,
call would have came in and said, we don't need a police officer for this, right? It's
yeah,
not like you're pulling people over who are driving or anything, right?
yeah,
Who might have whatever, a gun on them or whatever, suspicious, right? You're just going to stuff again like the George Floyd thing, right? So that's one thing. Someone who doesn't have some training to someone number one is not going to go there and it's not going to escalate, right?
yeah,
Ray said,
yeah.
"What's up?"
Okay.
Ray said, "What's up?" Nikki said, "Hello." Dave said, "Great punishment should be required." Dave also said, "If misconduct is present, then a larger punishment should be the result." And Frank said, "Hello, sorry for the delay. Was playing Minecraft and lost track of time." So, what's up, Ray, Nikki, Frank? And also, do you want to touch on Dave's comment?
Oh yeah, definitely. Here, use this one because it's bigger. And well, first of all, I want to say thank you to Nikki because she made us some really, really good cookies. So we gotta say thank you to her for that. So just want to say thank you again for them cookies.
Thank you for the cookies.
Yeah. So to touch on Dave thing, yeah, he said great punishment should be required, and I agree. I mean, if you look at a police officer, you figure like they are to serve and protect citizens, right? So I
Yeah,
don't want to hold them higher than citizens, but if we have issues, we're going to the police, right? So
yeah,
they should, if they are here to protect us and they step out of lines, then maybe it should be a tougher or stricter sentence. Because remember, we're just regular people walking around every day, right?
yeah,
So our
yeah.
parents taught us to be good people, right? But that's just our morality. But we didn't go to training, right? To like
That's correct.
but police officers have. So if they get out of line and they're supposed to be the person to help make a line, then maybe they should be held higher, you know?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think me personally, when I look at any shooting or anybody dying in a police situation, I think whether it's justified or not, they should be taken off the street.
Right.
If a cop shoots somebody or kills somebody, uh, regardless if they're justified or not, I just think they should be taken off the street. It's almost like when you look at certain animals, they kill a human, they try to find that animal like a wolf or something like that, or lion, because I think
Right.
psychological it kind of messes with you, and I just like if it's something justified, I just don't think they should be on the streets with a gun. I think they should be put behind a desk or from some other task. And
Right.
obviously, if it's not justified, they should have like severe punishment because uh, they kind of a little bit above the regular citizen because they kind of
Right.
paid to do a job um, and they're supposed to be serve and protect. But I guess going back for what I was saying earlier, I just think that police should not be called just for anything that's like non-lethal. If there's like a shooting going on, I think that would be a good reason to call the police.
Mm-hmm.
If there's like somebody then house got broken into, um, or any type of domestic stuff, or any type of just normal um, issue that's like not non-lethal. it should be somebody else that's trained to come in and like de-escalate those situations, or find the person, or issue them some type of summons or something.
Right.
Um,
Now, earlier today on the phone when we were talking, you actually brought up, you reminded me of something that happened to me in my life that like literally blanked out of my head. But you want to tell them
yeah,
a story and tell them that how this new position could have helped my situation. And I don't
yeah.
mind, guys. You know me. I don't mind my life being out there. So Lamont, tell them the story.
Sure. I mean, when we was in high school, you had like your favorite, some smartphone was like your favorite phone. You kind of loved that phone. They came out with a newer model and it wasn't as good, and you just kind of loved that phone. Back then, when you was married to your first wife brother stole your phone, and I remember you was trying to call up Sprint, or well, I'm not, was it Sprint or
Yeah,
somebody?
Sprint.
You was trying to figure out, because you had the serial numbers, if they could kind of track the phone and see if who's been calling who, or who's been using it, and it wasn't able to track it. But somehow you figure out that it was your brother-in-law that had your phone. So me and you both went over there and confronted him, and it kind of got heated. Y'all was kind of going back and forth. And I think you called the cops to show up because you wanted your phone back, and they happened to show up, and the cop was kind of dismissive of what's going on. It's like he didn't really care what actually happened, even though it's kind of obvious that the dude done stole your phone.
Right.
And I think you was kind of getting frustrated with the whole situation, and the cop just wanted to kind of diffuse the situation. But he wound up throwing you on the ground and handcuffing you,
Yeah.
and that just didn't make anything better. I mean, you're not really necessarily a violent person, but he kind of escalated it more than what it had been. I think it was another person could have showed up and actually care about what was going on and try to mediate this situation and try to figure out what was, get like understanding of it. I think it could have went a little bit better than what it did. And I remember we going to the police station afterwards so you could file a complaint against the cop, because you was like, you called him for your issue, and they put you in handcuffs.
Right.
So it was just crazy. And that just kind of came to my mind just as like a personal experience that we've seen that could have went the wrong way over something that wasn't really major.
No, yeah, that is true. It's funny that I totally forgot about that. But yeah, that's a true story, and you got a point. If there was because again, the police officer didn't really care about my issue, right? He didn't really care that dude stole my phone. He just was coming because he like pretty much had to come because I called, right? So he showed up and he's like, dude, you calling me about a cell phone? So that I felt like that was just his thing. And I'm mad and upset, and he handcuffed me. And it's like, yo, you didn't really care about the issue. Your thing was just like, listen, I got to show up because of some dumb cell phone thing. But you got a point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just think that some stuff like that, somebody with a gun should not be going through that type of situation. I think it should be somebody else that doesn't have a gun. And if something did escalate, because neither one of y'all was armed or anything like that,
right.
But if something did escalate, and he had, that person had to get involved to kind of hold each other back. Nobody wouldn't be getting shot or anything. So everybody would have kind of went home. And I think a lot of these situations, when you have these weapons on your side, it like, you got these weapons, you kind of go to that as a solution for everything. And I think if you don't have that weapon, you find other ways to kind of de-escalate the situation.
Yeah, I agree. Let me jump in the comments. So Lisa jumped in here. So Lisa said, hey, and she said she forgot we started the show already. Shame on you, Lisa. And Dave said, that sucks, bro. It's all good. I mean, that was again, I was with my first wife, so that was probably the late 90s. So it's all good. Yeah. I'm over it. And Nicole said, oh,
You're
damn.
so over it, you forgot.
Yeah, I forgot it. Lamont reminded me. I'm like, at first I was like, what are you talking about? And because when we was talking about it, you was like, yeah, remember you got arrested? Like, I got arrested. And I was like, oh, yeah, you're right. You said he just had handcuffed me. I was like, yeah, remember they sitting me on the ground. I'm like, really? But Nikki said, oh, damn, I'm hugging you, Anthony. No one should ever have to go through that. Yeah, I mean, it was a crazy situation, but again, that was a long time ago, and I'm past it. But Lamont, to his point, he had that's a valid point. I mean, what do you say, Sandy? Jump in here. Oh, that's white privilege. She ain't never have to deal with this.
So, Sandy, do you think, I guess the current how things goes now, as far as this, if somebody have an issue that they can't resolve, whatever the case may be, they call 911. You think police should show up for everything, or do you think they should only show up for?
I think police and like a counselor or somebody that mediates the situation should be there. Because what if that person has a weapon and you don't know that? And then they're unarmed. They go to this house. It's escalating into something else, and there's nobody to protect them.
I think that's the hard part. So I think what you're proposing is good, but on the off chance, again, when we was on the phone, I was like, well, what if it's you go to the crazy house and
well, that's the thing, you don't know what you're walking into.
Listen, the lady's like, you better get off my mother effing. And as you know, you find out the social worker got stabbed or something, or you have a bunch of people now. The thing is that, if the social worker show up on me and they don't got weapons, it's on. Now, I guess you'll have to be like strict laws, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, it's precautions. That's why I said the person who shows up, I'm pretty sure they could have some type of training program,
right?
Where if they don't feel safe, for whatever the reason, then maybe they could call. There's something else they could do to protect them. Or
maybe again, that's when the cops is there for it. So they get there.
A cop can escort them.
No, I don't.
Cops shouldn't have to. So I don't. Part of it,
I don't think the cops should escort them, because then the cops might as well show up themselves. So I think, like Lamont is saying, if they're gonna defund, meaning take some of the money from the cops, then use that money and start a whole new division, like you're saying. But if the cops,
that's so hard, because you're putting people that don't have weapons out there in a situation where the other people could have them.
Yeah, but what Lamont is saying, in the situation that they're going to be called to, would be like, it shouldn't.
So they're getting called to a situation where it's a boyfriend and girlfriend having a domestic argument.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They're just wilding out on each other, going off.
No. I think that would be different. That in my mind.
That's who's gonna show up.
No, in my mind, the cops should show up. Like, it depends. Like, if somebody, okay, think about it. If somebody called the cops for domestic violence, right? Normally, right now, day and age, man, listen, they're screaming, they're going crazy. Why would you get the counselor? That wouldn't make that. I feel like already that call should go to an officer. But like he said, something lower. Like, hey, listen, it's a guy here trying to use, counterfeit or something. We want to file a report. They show up, go to the place first. Oh, he's still here. Okay, the person will go talk to him. Hey, sir, come here real quick.
Well, here's the hard thing. Any situation could escalate into something you're not expecting.
That's true. And I guess
that's my
but
anything.
I think that the chances of somebody dying were lower, because the person going there is legitimately trying to help out the situation.
Right.
And I think sometimes some people probably feel that they know the cop is got a lethal weapon, or maybe they don't care about the cop, whatever, and they don't want to get arrested, so they might escalate it with the cop also. Right? You never know, but they know if somebody is coming and don't have a weapon, they're professional, they've been trained to handle these type of situations. Maybe they go there and give them some information as far as for therapy, as far as relationship counseling. There's like other methods on just figuring out issues.
Right.
And I think most people, and most of the arguments and relationships that I've been into, if you had a neutral party, that's pretty much most people need. It's a neutral party that's not on either person's side and just looking at it from the outside. And sometimes that's just needed. And I mean, nothing's going to be perfect. There's always going to be some things that escalate.
Just like
something that's out of control.
People that take advantage of people knowing that they're coming with no weapons. You got to think about that.
But they're not coming because they're not called because of that. The person's not calling them just to shoot them. They're calling them because they got a problem with somebody else. So that person that's coming has nothing to do with what's going on.
Right.
So it's not like they saying, okay, let's go call the 911 and have the social worker come over so we could kill him. So most likely
saying it like
somebody's gonna be
that.
calling down
What I was
to
saying
help them.
is, when the social worker gets there, if there's some people that are just like, they're calm when it all starts, but then they can get crazier as the conversation goes on. Maybe by the time the social worker got there, they're already a little bit heated and they didn't know that, and they walk into that situation and that person takes advantage knowing they don't have a weapon. That's what I was saying.
No, I mean that could happen, but I think also could happen in mediation.
I just think there's a lot of different angles to it where
Right.
I get what you're saying, like, oh, that could help out in some ways where cops don't have
Right.
to go to everything, but that could also cause a problem too.
Well, I think what Lamont's saying, I like it too. He's saying there's always things gonna happen, right? Like no one expected George Floyd to die that day, right? So that got out of hand. I think the problem is that's happening too often. But it's just life. There's gonna be people who gonna go to court who was innocent, right? But they're gonna get found proven guilty, right? There's always issues. I mean, God forbid, but if this position was filled, there's going to be a couple people that might die because they went to a scene and it did escalate. I mean, but what Lamont is saying, if this could be something new, and again, you take cop funding to start a new division, maybe it'd be less people dying. And I guess it's like if that it's like wearing the mask for the virus, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we don't need to wear the mask. It doesn't really work. Like, well, it's a preventative. At the end of the day, it's to help save more lives. It's not gonna save all. But real quick, I just want to touch on Dave said he said that's a shame, but it's true because most of these street cops hide behind their badge. Come work with me. No gun, no taser, just 10 knuckles. So he's a CO, correction officer, if I got that right. And then he said, Sandy, great point.
Yeah.
Well, here's my thing too. So like, you're gonna have social workers going out there to deal with like domestic things that aren't getting heated yet and stuff like that. But what's gonna be the outcome if they can't settle something? Like, are they gonna be removed? Like, as if cop, like, all right, you can't stay here for the night. Does the social worker have authority to say, hey, you got to get out of here?
That's a good question, and I think that goes back to the training. There'd be something that we would have to think of other methods to resolve situations.
Yeah, because they have to have some kind of authority to like remove somebody if they needed to be removed. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and then that maybe you got to escalate it to somebody else that could force that authority. Yeah. And I think that's just part of it. The other parts that is invested into the community, like programs for kids, use some of that money to reinvest as far as bringing jobs into the community.
Right.
Maybe give like incentive to like companies or corporations to bring businesses there. Yeah. And this stuff for the community is pretty much invest into education and the communities in general. So as a whole, it's not just like you just getting rid of police and putting social workers where the case may be. Right. It is a whole other stuff as far as other stuff that's going on in the community that the money is being used for, other than militarizing the police. So right. Overall, crime should go down. So it would be, if more educated people, should be less people who do desperate things because they need money, or people who interested in crime or just to do crime because there's jobs in the community. So those are things that kind of bring down like the crime level,
right?
And make situations less threatening. And I guess just keep in mind, just think about a lot of suburban neighborhoods where it's not that much crime, and that social worker go there, anything can happen to them. But when you kind of work, you think about the worst case scenario. That doesn't happen all the time.
Right.
So, and I think that if for the most part, if you just add these programs as far as just helping and investing in the community, that approach kind of takes the burden off the police, and it would be less issues and less shooting stuff that's going on that's kind of systematic as far as racial profiling. A lot of that stuff would kind of slowly kind of die down because there will be people going there looking to help instead of looking at the person and judging the person and not really helping them. So
yeah. I think it's definitely something that, you know, they possibly try and just see what the outcome is. I mean, it can't hurt anything, you know, to try something different.
It just would be, again, this is one of those things where each state is separate. So that one state will have to bite the bullet and say, okay, we're going to take these funds and use it for something else. Like I already seen that Amazon they got this program where you use facial recognition software and they're not going to allow the cops to use it anymore. So I was seeing that was one thing they was doing to defunding the cops. But I guess they were saying that the software isn't 100%. So they decided they're going to pull it. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different things we could do, but that sounds like a really good thing if you ask me.
Yeah, yeah. I think a lot of things that are meant to help is kind of doing a lot more harm than helping the community. A lot of people is just targeted because they're being stereotyped, and it's just not fair to the community. And it's not even fair to the police because they got all this pressure to beat these numbers to get this crime down. But I think it's just better ways to go about policing, especially with technology and everything else. A lot of stuff is not really necessary. They got cameras that they put on poles to catch you if you run in a red light. So I mean, if somebody is not like a life or death situation, you got ways to find people and find them if they did something wrong or catch up to people.
Well, look at all the people now that's getting in trouble because of the rioting. Like I seen that I was listening to the radio on the way to work this morning, and there's a lady. She's 30 years old, and she they got on video that she set fire to 2 police cars. I forgot what state it was, and now she was caught. And she could have so many years in prison or whatever. So I mean, like you said, there is ways of catching some people because most of the time when cops are called, they're called because someone's seen a person, got a description or whatever. Now maybe here's the problem too. Maybe we need more citizens to step up. Like a lot of times we're kind of like minding my business. Maybe if we quick to record a cop, maybe we should be quick to record 2 people. Like you could be across the street, see some people doing something they have no business with. Maybe you should zoom in and record that,
Yeah, I think that's a possibility, but I think you still got to be a little bit careful. I mean, staying back and recording somebody might be just fine, but I think you still kind of have to respect people' privacy. Right. If they're minding their business, and they're not committing a crime, I don't think you should be calling the police.
Right, I got you.
So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with just watching them, but if they're not doing anything, I don't think it's something like that need to be something called on.
I guess it would get kind of crazy because you have people, but then again, there's going to still be someone who's going to have to look at the video and decide if they were doing something or not.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's true. And it's stuff like that. If somebody reports somebody's looking suspicious or something like that, if somebody's not committing a crime, I just don't think that a police officer with a lethal weapon should go to the scene. Right. I think it should be somebody who doesn't have a weapon to see what's going on and see if it's something that needs to be escalated. So I just think that those are just some of my opinions on how they could make things as far as policing in this country a little bit better.
All right. Well, Mont, listen, I appreciate you coming on, man.
Sure.
And I want to give the people a heads up. Lamont and I, for the past few months, we threw the topic and ideal around that me and Mont might do a show together, and it'll be a little crazy. So y'all just hold on when I say this, but it'll be about religion. So Lamont is a very educated guy. He's been into he's read so many different books and things, and he's has a vast knowledge of religion. And you know, he asked me the question, where do I stand right now today? And we actually stopped it and I said, listen, we could do kind of like a show, do a one-off and see where it goes. So guys, this might be coming to you guys sooner than later. So just giving you a heads up. But yeah, Mont, thanks for coming on. Any last things you want to say before you go?
No, thanks for having me. Was a little bit nervous at the beginning, but it's pretty cool. First time doing the video thing.
All right, cool. Well, I appreciate it, man. And yeah, if you can, stay tuned to the show. Once you go off, we're gonna probably move into the Daisy and Duke, which you'll see people kind of tend to like that part of the show. Whenever some stuff is a little like, oh, we kind of take it down a little bit with the Daisy and Duke. So probably we should be doing the Daisy and Duke now. So
okay. All right, I'll catch you guys later. Watch the feed.
Okay, right, I appreciate it, man.
All right.
All right, take care. All right. Let me fix my hat, cause you know, coming back here with you.
Looking hat you got.
I don't even know why you always talking about my hat is ratchet. My hat look good.
My hat don't fall apart. Your part.
No.
You got the wire hanging out.
That's the way it was supposed to be.
Wire.
Listen,
that wire not supposed to be.
My hat got stories. My hat got. Listen, just go on and see what people saying in the comments.
You see what they saying.
You know I don't got my glasses on.
I can't help it that you old and can't see.
All right, hold on. All right, so Nikki said, I don't understand why there are people who are so hateful. I wish they could see what I see. I look at the person for who they are on the inside. Well, I want to know how Nikki got X-ray vision. Because I ain't never been able to see nobody on no inside. And if Nikki could see on the inside, she would be playing Jenga and be able to actually see the levels before it tip over. Because, you know, she ain't good with Jenga.
Why are you always talking about Jenga?
Because I just know.
You ain't even playing Jenga.
But I know she ain't good at Jenga.
You ain't played Jenga since the last time we played with
Let's give Nikki some credit. Them cookies she made. Now, listen, Nikki. You make some good cookies, and I gotta point that out. But you ain't never been good in Jenga.
I like the chocolate chip ones.
Yeah, I like the peanut butter ones.
I'm not the biggest peanut butter.
Listen, girl, just go on and tell your joke. You always coming in here telling these.
I'm gonna crack your barrel, Dookie.
I'm gonna crack your barrel.
Don't make me crack your barrel.
Listen.
Everybody on the show love it when I crack your barrel.
Listen, you gonna get your barrel cracked.
I'm gonna crack your barrel so hard that your hat gonna fly off.
Didn't I tell you don't be touching my hat, woman?
What I just said?
Listen, listen, here's the thing. Remember when we used to be on Facebook?
And your barrel get cracked so hard that it go flying across the room?
Listen. You remember Facebook said y'all can't be on here no more.
They ain't
because
never said that.
They did. They let me know. They said you and them jokes done got us kicked off.
They said that guy there, Dookie, he's so boring. that y'all can't even put a show on no more because he don't never had no jokes.
Let me go to the
He don't
comments.
never had no jokes.
And Ray said, "Oh boy." And Lisa and Ray both laughing at you. They said, "LOL." I'm assuming that's directed to you. If that's directed to Daisy,
Dude, what do you see when the Pillsbury Doughboy bends over?
What do I see when the Pillsbury Doughboy bends over? I don't know.
Donuts. You see them donuts.
You know what, girl? Just go on and give them the next joke.
You know them donuts that you be liking. They sell the little miniature brown ones like balls. You like them donut balls, right? That Pillsbury Doughboy, that's where they.
All right, come on, get on with the next joke, girl.
You bend over and you want to lick his donuts.
You may want to lick them donuts. Oh man!
You told me how much you like them donuts, the brown ones. What they call them? What they call the little round ones? Donut holes.
Can you tell the next joke?
No, this one was funny because
man.
You,
look, Nikki said,
like
I actually made the cookies for Daisy, LOL, but I knew Duke liked peanut butter. Listen, you made them for me. Don't even lie. Because Frank texted me and said, listen, Nicole, a.k.a. Nikki, said, come get these.
Nikki liked me better because I don't be talking about how she played Jenga. Because she played Jenga just fine. And we ain't had no problems when she was on my team. And we ain't sore losers like your team is when you be losing in some games. So listen, the only thing you could do is keep talking about it because that's the only victory you got.
Listen, Nikki's X-ray vision and her cookie baking skills can't help her in Jenga. Now go on, woman, and tell the next joke. Go on.
How is virginity like a soap bubble?
How is virginity like a soap bubble? Because the first time you get it, you pop it. You know what they say, pop the cherry? So that, think about it. Pop the cherry, pop a soap bubble.
Listen, Dookie. How is virginity like a soap bubble? Well, I'm going to tell you. One prick and it's gone.
That wasn't that.
Prick, and it's gone.
One. Listen, man. One prick.
You know what real men? You know what real men do?
Well, since I'm a real man, I tell you what real men do. They come through harder than a mug.
No.
No?
Real men don't wear pink. You know why?
Why is that?
Because they eat it.
Now listen, we gonna get kicked up off of this show messing with her.
You ain't a real man.
And Frank said he'd be right back because Kyle is calling him. His son Kyle.
So you can't wear pink. You gotta eat pink. If you don't eat pink, you ain't a real man.
You ain't a real man. Well, I wonder how many people in the audience are real men.
Dookie.
Oh, when she give me that look, I know what that look is. She gonna say something that's gonna get us kicked off of this here YouTube. I'm already waiting for it. But the day I'm gonna get that call, hey, dude, yes, YouTube, you can't be on that our thing anymore. Why is that, YouTube? Because of Daisy? Oh, I knew it. Oh, look, and Michael's in here. Michael said, hi, he called me cowboy. And you know what Nikki said?
Real men bitch about lack of Jenga skills. That's right.
You know what?
That's why Nikki made me the
I'm going
cookies.
to tell you this much. Listen.
She made me the cookies.
Listen.
Because you ain't a real man talking about Jingos.
Listen. I'm going to tell Frank to crack her barrel. You going to get your barrel cracked
gonna get his
by
barrel
Frank.
Cracked. Nikki gonna crack Frank barrel.
I don't know about that, Nikki. She know my man Frank wear pants in that house. It's like a rodeo. Frank come by,
listen, Dookie,
pull them pants up. All right, go on.
How is pubic hair like parsley?
Yeah.
You know the little green stuff, the little like leaves that they
I already see where this is going. This is gonna be crazy. It's gonna be something about they both get stuck in your teeth.
Why would that be crazy? Did anybody even get that? That was so lame.
That made a lot of sense to me.
How is pubic hair like parsley?
I don't know, woman. Just tell me then.
You push it to the side before you start eating.
YouTube, I'm sorry, but that ain't, I did not put her up to this. She started off this thing as a little joke and it just got crazy and I ain't, And Ray said, my young ears can't hear this. See? And Nikki said, LOL, okay. She must be talking about Frank cracking that barrel. But look, you got Ray going like this. He can't even listen to the Sandy and Anthony show without his virgin ears drums bleeding.
This ain't Sandy and Anthony segment. This here is Daisy and Duke. And if you ain't an adult, then I guess you gotta cover your ears. So he must be underage. So you might want to kick him off the show.
You know what? He ain't underage, but he live in West Virginia. They ain't got.
So he ain't wet behind the ears yet. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. And West.
He ain't been that experienced
in West Virginia, like they have one girlfriend and it's their cousin, and that's it. Yeah, they don't even have roofs down there. The other day he texted me.
I bet that Ray, when he gets sunburned, he takes Viagra to keep the sheets off his legs. It don't do much for sunburn, but keep the sheets off his legs.
It all depends how high he's standing to attention. So you don't know.
Well, when you take that there Viagra, you stand at attention.
I'm saying, so it gets the sheets off your legs. Look at our kangaroo dog right there.
That's what he did for the sunburn.
Listen, that I'm gonna believe you. Let me look at the comments and see what's going on there. So Nikki said the R-rated Daisy and Duke show. First of all, Nikki, I don't be having anything to do with this here woman and her craziness. I be telling her, listen, YouTube.
He don't tell me nothing.
I did. I said we already got kicked off of Facebook, and you trying to get us kicked off of YouTube.
That's a lie.
No.
That's a lie. All right, you want one more?
Let's do one more, cause we got video games to play, won't we? Look, time is going by fast. She can't even get it out.
What's worse than waking up at a party and finding a penis drawn on your face?
I see where it's going. So what's worse than waking up at a party, finding a penis drawn on your face? I guess finding a penis on your face.
That there was close. But that's not it.
Well, if that sounds worse than that, then I don't know about that, Daisy.
It's in that department.
I got a feeling. I got a feeling. I know.
What's worse than waking up at a party and finding a penis drawn on your face? Finding out it was traced by a lady on your face and traced it.
Oh man, listen, listen. We're gonna
So you already know it was right there with the marker and traced upon your face. The balls probably went around your eyes.
All right, come on, girl. She says all Anthony fault. They ain't nothing to do with me. All right, so anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in to the Daisy and Duke segment. Please pray for us, cause I don't want to get kicked off another network. I used to really like Facebook.
You can't even remember the name.
I loved Facebook.
You
All our
ain't care
friends
about
was on there. Everybody we knew and loved. But now we had to go to YouTube because Facebook said somebody was too raunchy for that their network, and here we are. So please say a little prayer. Please.
I say a little prayer for you. Forever, forever.
Anyway, thank you for tuning in. And with that said, we'll be right back.
And Michaela's not here.
Da-na-na. All right. So yeah.
You ain't even let me take off my hat.
I said, "Are you ready?" And you said, "I am."
All right, now Sandy's ready. Daisy's out the building. All right.
Anyway, so let's get into some of these topics. So let me pull up some of these topics. Let's get some topics that's kind of more on the lighter side.
You said I am. All right, now
Oh, whoops.
Sandy's ready. You got that plane in the background.
Yeah, well, this is how I make sure things are straight. All right, so we're gonna take this down a little bit, guys, because it's getting a little bit crazy. Nikki said they kicked you off. Yeah, they did kick her off, Nikki. You're right.
No, they didn't kick us off. He's a liar.
No, they did.
They did not. He decided he wanted to do YouTube because it was easier.
Why do you think Jose isn't on here no more?
They kicked Jose off, not us.
Anyway, so let's get into something real light. So this is kind of funny, but I want to talk about pets then and now. So mainly, I'm just talking about dogs for the most part, right? I remember when I used to be younger, because Lamont was reminding me, he was like, you know what's funny? I was saying our dog, right? And he was like, it's funny that you just got a dog. You're one of the people I know that got a dog later in life as an adult, and you had so many pets when you was younger. And I said, man, that's because when I was younger, I got tired of them damn pets. So I was telling him how, like, I was so over pets, right? So, it's funny because he was like, yeah, you're right, because you had so many pets. So what I noticed was, remember when you guys was younger and you could have a dog just walking down the street, not on a chain, not on a leash? And then also remember, I was talking to Sandy, right? And she's like, oh, our dog can't be outside in the cold. Listen, when I was little, my dog Rusty and Rusty and Lucky, they was living in the shed. She was like, the shed? What happened when it snowed? I was like, they was in the shed. What are you talking about? They're dogs. But now that would be considered animal cruelty. So I just wanted to bring that up because I thought it was funny. Can you stop writing her? We're doing a show. You want to write her? You write her when the show is over. You guys see the undivided attention we're getting? You think that's funny?
You're funny. All right, what animals you have when you were younger? that you're complaining that.
Wow, I just literally said it, and she's not even listening. Yo, man, this is getting out of hand.
You said you have so many animals. What you say, like 2 animals that I missed out?
What did I say?
I don't know.
Right. This is why it's hard to have a show with her. Anyway, so Ray said, better watch out, supposed to have thunderstorms. He said darkness. That's where you live at. I know you guys got to watch out because without the ceiling. No, but I was saying that,
Without the ceiling?
Sorry, Ray. Oh, man.
This is what I work with.
I got to contact YouTube. It's something to do with when I'm streaming. It's like everything is repeating itself over and over.
All right,
So yeah, that's a YouTube thing. All right. Anyways, so no, I'm saying how my dog back in the day, they used to just walk around without being on a leash. Yeah, I was like, it's crazy now you can't do that. Like dogs are so domesticated. Like
Well, I had a dog when I was younger. She kind of reminded me of Josie a little bit, but her name was Ginger. It was the first dog that was actually my dog.
Okay.
And
your own dog.
She got out of the yard. Like, we used to put her in the yard, and she usually went and jumped the fence or
Right.
try to escape. But the one day she did get out, and she just ran. So I get the whole thing not putting them on a leash if you have a fence. But my dog would have never stayed in the yard without a fence. And she still got out, even though there was a fence.
Yeah, dogs are crafty. Nikki got me laughing because she said I didn't do it, and then she said Anthony, he left them out in the shed. Listen, that's where they lived. All right, Nikki, I ain't leave them out there. That's where they lived at. Okay, they just didn't come in the house. My mom was not trying to have dogs in our house because they was dogs.
Hold on, I had rabbits, right?
Right.
Like I had 2 rabbits. I had a black floppy ear rabbit, and then I had a rabbit that looked like it was a wild rabbit.
Right.
And we had hutches outside that we used to keep them in all year round. We never brought them in the house. They were outside animals, technically. I mean, they were built for outside.
Right.
As long as the hutches covered them and nothing could get into the hutch to kill them or anything, and they were
listen,
ready to go.
As soon as it get cold out, Josie go crazy. She ain't trying to be out there more than 5 minutes.
Nope, she is not an outside dog.
That's pretty funny. So if you guys had any animals and you notice a difference between then and now, not even if you have animals now, but if you see...
Oh, I got one. What's the craziest animal you ever had?
I guess whenever I tell people I had a lot of snakes, but I used to catch snakes, so it wasn't like I went to a pet shop. Like I never bought a snake because I felt like...
So yeah, like garden snakes and stuff.
Yeah, you know. So I guess they're really not crazy. But if you tell some people, they think a snake is crazy, but a garden snake is so harmful. You know, or not, is harmless.
I had a potbelly pig.
Oh man, it was a dangerous snake. That's a dangerous snake. Oh man, it's a dangerous animal. But yeah, no, you know what? A lot of people definitely didn't have a pig, so that's gotta give you credit for that one.
And I had ducks and chickens, and I had what? I had ducks, chickens, rabbits. I had a pig. I had dogs. I've had cats. I've had fish. I had iguanas. Like I had a huge iguana that my brother's friend caught in a lake or something, and like that thing was so like it didn't like many people. It liked me because I fed it and took care of it. But if you came near it, it would like hiss at you and try to whip you with its tail. Right. And the one time it accidentally whipped the door with its tail, and its tail fell off, and it was still moving. You ever seen an iguana's tail detach?
Can't say that I have.
It's the weirdest thing ever. So their tail detaches when it like hits something really hard, and it grows back after time. You know, their tails grow back.
Yeah, yeah.
So when their tail grows back, it's so strange because it's like black. It looks like a piece of rubber until it like fully grows in. It's like the strangest thing. And like I said, their tail moves for like a good minute after it detaches because of the nerves.
That's crazy. Nikki said a lot of hunters have keep their dogs outside.
That's true.
Yeah, think about it. That is true. So look, let's get off of this whole dog thing, all right? And don't touch that phone, all right? So here, let me talk. Let's talk about this. We was talking about this when I was I called you on the way home. The school's reopening. So first of all, do you guys think the school should reopen? And then 2, when should they reopen? Now, you were saying the reason why we talked about this because you were saying that people should have parents should have the option.
Well, I didn't say they should. I said they might have the option because remember they sent them surveys to us.
True.
About how comfortable are you with your child going back to school in September? Would you say very, very comfortable, somewhat comfortable?
When I got that, I didn't take that as they were gonna. Oh, your kid could stay home and they could go to school.
No, I took it as they were trying to get a survey of how many people are comfortable with the situation of them going back.
Right. So
not individually, but
yeah, I feel like they're trying to see like, listen, if a lot of parents, they're probably looking to see the education and how good kids did at home, right? Mm-hmm. And then they're probably also looking to see of how many parents don't mind their kids not going back or will be opposed to their kids going back to school. So that way, if they see like, okay, a lot of parents rather their kids stay home and the kids was passing, the kids wasn't failing.
I'd like to say that a lot of people are going to be more on the fence of wanting to send their kids back to school, especially if jobs are now reopened.
Yeah.
Like, who's home to be at their kids all day?
I agree, because I would not want our kids just home all day.
Me neither.
Tearing stuff up.
It's bad enough in the summer you go to work when this didn't all happen. Like, now I'm still home. So that's cool because somebody's here. But it's bad enough in the summer when, even if your kids are older, they're just home alone. You don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. Tearing stuff up. First of all, we was thinking they're probably going to be eating everything. But I guess because
not the case because they sleep all day.
Yeah, they sleep all day.
We got the teenagers that just lay around and sleep all day. Like Bobby don't get up until like mid-afternoon. Sierra just crawls out of bed whenever. Like,
yeah.
So yeah, I think it could be an option where they may come up with a thing in September saying, well, this many people said they're comfortable and this many people said they didn't. So what are we going to do about the situation? Are we going to singly let parents choose to send their kids back? Or are we just going to say, this is it, they got to go back?
Right.
So I guess we'll find out.
So, I know I got this contraption on my neck. Haha! But it comes in handy again. So as we're talking, I could easily look down and I don't feel like I'm being distracted too much. So, to read the comments, Lisa said, not right away. She said, I'm not comfortable with it yet. She's talking about kids going back to school. And Nikki said, who knows how it's going to be at that point. I personally would rather them stay home. And then Lisa said, OMG, I was going to say that, eating all the food. Yeah, like, we thought that was going to be a big issue, but in the end, it wasn't, actually.
I think they eat less now than they ever did.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's so strange. Like, you would think they would complain, oh, I'm hungry, I'm this and that. But no, they're sleeping.
You know why?
They don't have time to complain.
Yeah, because they stay up late. They manage their time, and they figure, well, I'm not going outside because they can't. So here's the thing. They can't do anything, right? So this is the difference, though. I bet it would be different if kids was able to actually do something.
See each other and go places.
Yeah, see each other. Yeah, because they can't do nothing anyway. So they're like, what if I just sleep all day?
And then just chill at night.
Yeah, chill at night. So what do you guys think, though? Like,
Well, Nikki and Lisa said they wouldn't want to send their kids back.
Right.
I'd send my kids back.
Lisa said, it has here, I spend so much money on food. Yeah. Well, Lisa, that's because you got 1,000 kids in your house. So, I mean, you listen. You got to spend a lot of money, so that's different. But
I feel like, listen, if they go back and they have to wear masks just the same as you go in the store and got to wear a mask, then so be it.
Yeah.
And listen, maybe not everybody will agree with that because some parents are overprotective of their kids and feel like, oh my God, if they touch something and bring it home. But I mean, you quarantine for 14 days and then you're pretty much good for the most part, unless you're older and have some health conditions.
Right.
Now, if you have health conditions and you don't want your kids going back to school because they might bring it home and you might get really sick, or you have grandparents that are living in the household, then I agree.
Yeah, because I actually...
Then maybe you shouldn't have to send your kids back if that's your situation.
Because actually on the radio this morning in Florida, they were saying Florida cases are spiking, but the governor of Florida said they're not going to shut down. They said, listen, what we are going to do, and this was kind of to your point, they said for the people who it would affect the most, like elderly or people with underlying conditions, the governor actually said then we're gonna his words was, I'm paraphrasing, but more like we're gonna make sure we protect them. But they said we're not planning on stopping moving forward because they feel like it's like if you look at the percentage of people, it's not. This is hard to say.
It's not enough
Everybody
to
could
make
get
them
it.
close down.
Right, everybody could get it, but it's not everybody's not dying. Like the deaths aren't as high. Again, I'm not taking away from anybody who died,
Because there was
but
plenty of people that died.
right,
And that's
but
not cool.
when they do the percentages versus going so much longer without opening versus the death tolls, like I gotta pull this up. My friend made a good point. This is what he said, and I feel like we always talk about this, but this is what he said. He said there's a spike in cases because people are going back to work and are being tested. So people are going back to work and they're being tested. He said, however, numbers of hospitalizations are down 48% and ventilators use is down 56%. He said, but nobody wants to report the good news. So he's saying that, yeah, obviously people are going back to work, so the tests are going up, right? Because they're making it mandatory for people to get tested. He's like, but what they're saying is, but on the bad side, right? So people are going to work, get tested. You got, like Sandy was saying, you get quarantined for 14 days, and then you're back out there. But the people who are being on ventilators in the hospitals aren't filling up that fast. So we're saying like, it's a spike. But what's spiking? Well, people are spiking that, they end up getting
the
it.
death toll isn't spiking. It's more of the people confirming that they have it.
Right.
That's spiking.
Right. Now, some people say because, like my friend Mike was saying, is that's only because the numbers are getting lower because the way they're doing the testing, they're saying like, oh, well, we don't consider, like, the numbers are lower. Like, before, if you had 30 people who had it, that's considered high. But now it's like, you know what, we could lower that bar a little bit. Or it has to be a higher number for it to be considered high. But anyways,
we shall see what happens, guys.
Ray said, "Dang, all our parks and courts and everything else is open down here." And again, he lives in West Virginia. And Nikki said, "This virus seems like it's gonna be forever." Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, but then again, I don't know, because if you look outside, there's a million people running around like there ain't no virus. So.
Well, here's the thing too: is you know how like things just kind of fade out. I'm not saying that it's not a real thing and it's not here and it's not alive still,
right.
Because it is. But I feel like people tend to get more daring. They want to go out more often.
Right.
They want to do things
Definitely.
because things are opening. So of course you're gonna have people going out there. I'm one of those people. Listen.
Well, look, let's touch this. Last week on the show, we asked you guys what should we do for our anniversary. Well, our anniversary was last Sunday, and we actually went to Delaware for the weekend. So we can touch on that real quick. Not for nothing. I wish our state was like Delaware. We went to the movies. We went to the mall. We went to the park. We went to the beach. We literally did like everything we can't do here. And not for nothing, we went to restaurants.
Sat inside.
Sat inside. Listen, when we went to one restaurant, they said you can't hold the menu. You got to take a picture of it. And then they put the thing on our foreheads to test our temperature. And we sat down and ate. It was awesome. We went to one restaurant. They just gave us paper.
Yep, so they could dispose of.
Yeah, paper menus. Yeah. So we went to the movies. We literally was only 2 people in the movies. But yeah, I mean, I feel like Delaware had the mall. We're walking around in the mall. But guess what? People have masks on. People's keeping it.
To how many people could be in the store.
Yeah.
They have the little X's where you wait in line.
Yeah, there was like lines to get in certain stores. So they was pretty much taking precautions,
Not for nothing, that's going to be the new normal for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's just going to go away. But I think we're going to learn to live with certain precautions.
Yeah.
Until there's a vaccine or something where people aren't dying from it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I could be fine with that. I mean, let us do things, but just have precautions.
Yeah.
You know?
And so Nikki said movie theaters are opening. That jump. Movie theaters are opening, but they are going to be sold out. I believe it. Ray said, but some of our churches, people caught it again. I mean, listen, anything reopened, there are people going to catch it. There's a story in Florida where some people went to this bar and
the whole bar caught it or something like that. 30 people or something.
Yeah, a bunch of people caught it. I think it was like 15 and 7 people of all the workers end up having it. So they had to go home. You know,
Yeah.
nobody died or anything, but they caught it. Frank said, I'm back. Kyle wanted to chat a little. That's cool. It's a good thing you talked to your son. Lisa said, but the cases wasn't as high in other states. New Jersey and New York was the highest level of the cases. And Mike is on here finally and said, well, Aunt told me we will get 0 cases. Yeah, I mean, I believe we will because the numbers are going down. I don't know when it's going to be 0 cases. But
here's the thing with the 0 cases, right?
Right.
So the cases are going down.
Mm-hmm.
There's only so many people in the world, so I get your points on that. But you can get it more than once.
Allegedly.
So how will there ever be 0 cases unless there's a vaccine?
I mean, that's what is that fully true? Like, I haven't seen like I have literally never seen that you could get it again on the news. I've heard people say it. I heard people say I seen an article, but I have never seen like an actual reporting that you could get it again. And if you can,
well, if that is true, then there won't be 0 cases.
It's gonna be 0 at some point.
Not anytime soon.
Mike said I was on earlier during the defund the police topic also, and you ain't say nothing. I guess you're saving it for our show tomorrow night at 7:30, guys. It's not gonna be live, but I'll bring it to you.
We covered all of our topics.
Well, we got one last topic that I want to touch on. So if anybody got anything else to say about Rona, but I want to bring up. Can you go up to Nikki's page on YouTube?
Oh yeah.
So I want Nikki.
You
See?
YouTube. You mean Facebook?
Facebook. Sorry, I'm bringing you up. Nikki actually had a post on Facebook, and I commented on it, and she was like, "That could be a topic." So I want to close this out with something a little bit.
There you go. Conspiracy theorists say Mayan calendar was wrong and world will end next week.
All right, what's the date?
Let's see.
I think 21st.
June 21st, 2020.
So I was messing with Nikki. I was like, I don't know. The world might end because of COVID and this and that and this and that. She was like, listen, the way things are looking. But that article pretty much was saying, and quote me if I got it wrong, Nikki, is that they think it's like a meteor or asteroid coming to the Earth, and people don't know about it or something. So let me just jump into these comments. Let's see. Ray said, hour away, time to get pumped. Oh, yeah, he's right. The Last of Us, so we got to get off of here. Oh, wait, we got 2 hours. So Lisa said, even with vaccines doesn't mean you won't get it. I've gotten the flu shots and still got the flu. Yeah, true. But listen, you got the flu shots and you're all right? You ain't die, right? So calm down, okay? And Mike said, and I will send you a woman in the hospital now who has it in April, now again in June. She probably lying. And Lisa said, my neighbor.
You.
She's probably lying.
At the hospital.
Well, listen, let me see it on NBC or CNN or Fox News.
She's lying, but went to the hospital and the hospital.
I mean, that's just what Mike's saying. We don't know if that's 100% accurate.
I'm telling you, a hospital tested you, though. So how would she know she had a choice if they didn't test
How would Mike know? How about that?
If he read the article, then.
Oh, yeah, because there's not a such thing of fake news.
No, I'm not saying it can't be fake, but I'm saying usually if you walk into a hospital,
he probably just made that up.
They're going to do the proper testing.
He probably just made that up. And that, one story, right? We got how many people in the world, and we got one story of somebody getting COVID again?
This is what I live with.
Anyway, Lisa said, my neighbor's mom got the Rona, and it stayed with her for 5 weeks. And Frank said they said that before world won't end. Yeah, I agree with Frank. I remember I was big into the whole 2012 thing, the Mayan calendar. I was like, man, what if that's when the Mayan calendar just ended, and that predicts, because it was smarter civilization, one of the smartest civilization that the world's going to end. And then I remember there was some other thing in May about the end of the, no, that was Y2K. Because the year 2000 was coming and the computer systems wasn't advanced enough and they were going to crash and blah, blah, blah. But, yeah, I don't know about all that. CLE said, I work in a hospital. people who are recovered still test positive. And Frank said, when you get the flu shot, they are actually giving you a small dose of the flu to help your immune system fight it. Yeah, I mean, that's supposed to be it. But yeah, so CLE, I work in a hospital. People who are recovered still test positive. So you're saying that they no longer have it, right? So, but they still test positive because maybe they're recovered, meaning they got over their symptoms, they got over the sickness. But remember, there are people walking around as asymptomatic, right? So they have no symptoms, right? So they don't need to recover from anything,
Listen,
but they still have it.
I'm asymptomatic because you must have had it and I never got it. All right. Remember when you was coughing all crazy?
I mean, I couldn't cough for anything. I seen if I walk down the street and see somebody coughing. Nowadays, you're like, oh man, somebody's coughing.
Corona.
Because it's not allergy season.
Coronavirus.
Anyway, and then Nikki said it might not end in our lifetime, but who knows? Yeah, I really don't think the world is ending anytime soon. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be long and gone off of this planet before the world ends. And CLE said they don't show symptoms. Yeah, I mean that's asymptomatic, right? You don't show symptoms. You know. But guys, thanks for tuning in. We are on a deadline. We're trying to beat this game, The Last of Us. Oh. Zoom meeting has ended.
You must have hit something.
No, it just said it. The Zoom meeting ended.
Oh, because of 40 minutes or something.
Right. So usually that just happens when I wonder if everybody can still hear us. So that's cool though, if you can. All right, cool. You guys can still hear us. All right. So yeah, the Zoom meeting thing usually happens when oh, it's echoing. Well, now I know y'all can hear us. But yeah, the Zoom meeting ends usually when it says if you have more than 2 people. So that's kind of funny. But yeah, we didn't have more than 2 people. But anyways, let's see if I could pull our camera up. Well, we don't really need to have the camera.
We're about to end anyway.
Yeah, we're about to end anyway. So guys, thank you very much for tuning in.
We love you
to
guys.
the Sandy and Anthony show. You guys can see a little bit of the backstage stuff going on. How I got the whole new setup. But that was the first time we did it on
Zoom.
We did it on Zoom. So yeah. But let me see if there's any other comments. Wow. Ray said, I hope your power goes out. Ray, that's messed up because my power was out, as you know, for 3 days last time, all right? So calm that down. Should be a way for me to get this camera back on. But I'm going to leave it alone right now. But guys, yeah, we are going to call it quits right now. Again, thank you for tuning in. And we will see you guys next week, Thursday. And we'll have some more crazy topics. We'll have some more stuff going on. Also, stay tuned for a lot of stuff on the channel. Like wow, I totally put the wrong thing up. My bad. Yeah, listen, I got too many shows going on.
All-Purpose Crew.
Yeah, AllPurposeChamp&Crew. I'm looking at it like, wait, hold up. But anyways, but guys, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. Definitely, I'll send you guys links to the Big Mike and Little Ant show. It's going to be really good. It's going to be packed with a lot of stuff. Guys, subscribe to that channel. It's a lot of fun, a lot of good stuff, but we touch some serious stuff. It's funny. We even do movie reviews. So that's going to be cool. And when the virus is over, we're going to actually go to restaurants and we're going to eat there, and then we're going to review the food and stuff like that. So we got a lot coming. Stay tuned for the Mighty Jade Empire podcast. That's me and a bunch of my buddies. And it's probably about 9 of us. And we go over a bunch of topics. It's pretty cool as well. And also you can catch me on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. streaming with Just Joe and my boy Jose, a.k.a. Bones. And we just stream video games. So with that said, thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate all of you. Thank you, Nikki, for making us cookies. I'll say that again. Thank all of you for tuning in. Dave, Lisa, Frank, Nikki, the list goes on, Mike, Ray. Thank you all. I want to thank Lamont. Special shout out for jumping on the show today. And with that said, and now your mom knows. Sandy, you want to say anything to the people?
Love you guys and have a good night.